All right, let's take a look at the euro dollar. Didn't make my fantastic projection of 1650, but almost got there. Because my projection was based on, I kind of did it as a joke, but really the projection was off of this leg here and going up into, of course, I could see there was definitely going to be a problem issue up in here. So now we're back in the buy zone, and you know, this is the Akanashi. Actually, I think this is up and down bar. So this is like, now this is Akanashi, and it's smoothed out all the candles. So just in the binary sense, you would have been placing sell stops along the way here for the past 4 days before that top, and you got it filled on the downside of that. And anytime you get like a bar that's really small, here is a this is 100 pips between each dotted line, so you're within about 100 pips there, and you made about what, 300 pips there on the down. So we're coming back to this water table zone, the middle of the road. And this goes way back to January. So if you bring this over here, this will always be, $1.10 is always going to be the $1,000 handle. And then there's a $500 handle up here when you're in the 15s. So those are big price pivots up here around 15, right there. So this is the 15 zone, and then of course there is the infamous $5, unbelievable price, and so right in the middle, fair value. And this is the double top that's becoming a bottom. So obviously, for a long-term trader, you're buying here. And if you want to defensively buy, I guess you're going to put a buy stop above here. Of course, I'm not, because that's a 200 pip risk. If you're going to get it on a stop here, the rule is you got to put a stop below, unless you're going to put a tighter stop and just get stopped out of the whole trade. And that's always the problem. Anybody can say the market's going up, market's going down, but how tight's your stop? How big are you in? Always the issue. And what time frame are you trading? This is the daily view, and it's the weekend. It's the end of the month. Well, essentially, you got 1 week left. And for the trendline traders, which I prefer, just because if I put a moving average on here, it's just going to be a big sloppy mess. Don't necessarily like the trend line like this. Kind of want the trend line to be real hard, like this one here. So we broke out earlier, which that means you'd have to drag this trend line up into here to get the same effect of an early entry. And see here, you really can't see the double bottom, even if I turn the candles on here. You can see this doji, here's a hammer, but it doesn't really bring your mind to the point of, unless you connect the dojis, which is an interesting thing to do, but it's just such a mess. Why would you want to hurt your brain? So I think the line chart is the way to go for me forever. Of course, that was the way everything started, I think. And like I said, the problem with the candlestick is that what I did was here I put a indicator in, which is nothing more than a moving average that is exponential, and it lasts for one period. And here it's 1 day. So it's day by day. Now, if I add another one and show you the issue that the problem with the candles is that if I add a moving average here, so I'm going to insert, and I'll put in a white one. You go to trend, Then you go to moving average. And I'm going to set this one on open. And this is the problem with the, and let me just make it yellow. It's going to look pretty brutal in here. I'll make it smaller because it's yellow. What's the point? What is the point of a candlestick? Whether it's bullish or bearish, it's really pointless as far as I'm concerned, because you're taking the open and the close. So where's your, of course here, open to close, but as soon as the market reopens, this yellow line is going to jump down because that's the open. That'll be the open. So what's with the open and the close? You know, you can see it went down. If you're trading the open to the close, well, then if you want to do it like that, you would just trade the open. The open is this yellow line, and the close is there. So yeah, it opens, it goes through the, I guess you could play the crossover, right? So the close crossed over the open, which means that's a bullish candle, right? But didn't you want to get in on the close? In other words, the fact that it's bullish and bearish, you're already late to the party. Here it crossed over. It closed below the open. You turn the candles on, because you have to make the candles, the bullish candles would have to be, say, make those yellow. So now, at this point right here, of course, I think this, sadly, this broker actually rolls over on a Sunday, so you kind of got that crossover there. But I just don't get the candle thing. In other words, here's a bullish candle. Well, yeah, but didn't you want to buy the wick down here? If you're using the candles to buy the wicks, then I get it, right? Or if you chop the candles off, you take the bodies out, you just, in other words, forget whether it's bullish or bearish. You're just going to get in on the anything above and below the body. But anyways, this is already like, okay, it's down, it's up. I mean, and then the ultimate thing you just want to die laughing is, zoom out. Now, like who hasn't seen a chart like this? And somebody's got a chart like this, and they're speculating what's going to happen next. Well, who cares about this story back here? Oh, sure, it lines up back there, right? It lines up. I mean, all my trend lines line up, and but the next, what do you care about? Why do you care about that? I care about next week. That's all I care about, right? Or you could say, well, I guess if you're a position trader, right? If you're a guy that, but every little zig and zag, this is an opportunity to get in and out of this thing. Just take off this yellow one. So that's the close. I mean, your order placement isn't really going to, you don't really need all that information. This top here, you're going to put a pending here. If you're a guy that's waiting to get filled next week, you definitely want to buy that, right? Another 200 pips down, definitely 108. Juicy buy. I mean, set it and forget it. You don't have to be there for that trade. So I'll go back to my original system here. Here is the next place to put a buy limit. It doesn't say we're going to get filled down here. But yeah, this come back to fair value. Now this is kind of range traders paradise here we're coming into. If you go to the 4 hour, it's going to be kind of choppy. So there'd definitely be buying down here, 109, if we can make it there. And looking for the the risky, less risky entry would be the 1 hour. So in the 1 hour world, had you run your robot or whatever your system is, I guess you could have a human do it, old school. as this market keeps going up on the 1 hour, you're placing sell stops here, not only to protect if you're long, but to reverse. And this is the hard part, I think, for a lot of people, is to reverse their opinion. If you have a bullish tendency or a bearish tendency, or you're looked at your analysis and you figure that, oh, everything's going to be a certain way, so therefore I'm just going to stick to my guns. And certainly for me, that's a problem. I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm going to stick to my guns. Now, if I'm going to be a buyer, though, I can only look for buy setups. I can't trade the sell world. Like the sell world here, as this thing came up, you just made that. It didn't go to hell like in a beautiful move like this. And here too, you just kind of scalped it. And that's the 1 hour chart. So you kind of like had to get on it, and came back to just kept on failing to get the party started. And then the big stampede up into here is a test of the apex of this pennant here. So you kind of could see that coming. That was going to be the big contention zone. There's a triangle up there, and you can see it over here as just this. But inside here, there's a triangle, or that's the flag. It looks more like a pennant here because of the bars, and it looks like more like a flag here because this isn't close. But it's just easier to plan out Sunday or Monday or whenever these markets reopen, and just say, well, geez, do you think this is going to keep tanking? Probably not. And if it does, then it's about putting the orders in below, and you front run the market. So you definitely, these are 100 pip dotted lines. So your next order's obviously got to be down at 109. 109-ish. I just put one order there, and put one order here. But people want certainty, sadly, and this is how they end up getting clobbered. And if you were to look at this 1 hour chart and just think 100 pips a day is going to look like this. You just take your trend line, and you go through the 100 pips at a 45-degree angle. This broker's a little screwed up because he trades on Sunday night. So you have to cue it there and drag it. But look at the 45-degree. That's what when you're making 100 pips a day on the fall. Of course, here was 200 pip fall, and then you would have you would take this and copy it and create the up at 100 pips a day. And as you drag this around, you're looking for, this is the rate at which this was moving, nearly at 100 pips a day. And then, bam. So how long was that going to keep going? Yeah, well, definitely looking for this to go up. Maybe it has to go down a little bit more, 50 pips coming into Sunday. But yeah, I'm setting up for the buy, and I go to the half hour and look for a smaller fractal just to start placing buys. Go to the 15. And yeah, this has got a nice, if you're quick on the draw, you can see the stairway here. And then when you get the breakout, and this support becomes resistance on the 15, and that is the cut and run. You'd have to be able to nail that puppy, though. But yeah, this is the new trend line to break right here. Just forming there. So looking to pepper some buy limits down in here, just all over the place. The deeper they are, the bigger they are. That's my rule. So down here around the 100 pip handle, definitely want to load up. Load up. Look at that beautiful trend line break. Comes back. Boom. That thing just collapsed. Just fell out of bed. Just cut through that puppy, didn't it?